Check, 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 check. Testing, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. Testing, check. 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Testing, check. 1, 2. All right, we're good. We in. We live. We are ready. So hopefully have a good Sunday. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you, your family, friends, and loved ones are doing well today. Hope you all have had a fairly good weekend this weekend. Okay. Yeah, let's hope for the best tonight. Quick recap. Yesterday went 0-2. Per the main picks, gotta re-grab my phone because I can be able to tell you what I lost on, but I did still win some games. Win some picks and hit on a couple of parlays that I posted over on my Discord. But where are you? If I can find, here we go. So I had the Pacers scoring 108 points. They still scored points without Nembhard because he got ruled out most of the time. But then I guess Siakam was a late scratch, so that threw the whole pick out the window. They only scored 78 points. The Pistons went off on the tear. They scored 120 something, like 27, 28 points. Yeah, it was basically just like a massacre last night. So that was a non-winner. And then I had the Hornets to cover the first half spread plus 7.5 against the Warriors. All data leaning towards them to cover for the most part, but the Warriors said we're not having that, and they ended up winning by I think 15 plus points last night. I think they also won by a specific amount in the first half, so that didn't cash either. Had another parlay with the Bridges, Miles and McCall for 2 threes. McCall got it. He finished with 3 yet again, back to back with 3 threes. And then Miles finished with 1 3. I think we went 1 and 5 or 1 and 6, something like that. So that one did not cash. Trey Jones for assists, Knuppel for assists, Harris for assists, separate picks, combined those together on the parlay. Harris was the only one who he finished with 4 assists, so missed out on plus money with him. But I did cash on the Phoenix Suns first half spread plus 1.5. That cashed. Booker was Q tag, but I decided to go with the pick anyway, even if he wasn't in. But he came in and they handled business. They got that one. Klay Thompson, I felt like was one of my better picks for threes. I had him down for 4 threes. I really should have laddered him up for 5 and 6. He finished with 6. Last night he had 6 in the first half. He finished with 6. Went 6 and 11 if I remember correctly. So he covered for me in the first half. Hawks team total points over. Daniels was questionable. I think he. Let me double check. I think he did play. I may be wrong. May have not have. I had the Hawks to score 114 points or something like that last night. They finished with 106. Boston shut them down. So Daniels was officially out. McCollum was in. I actually had McCollum on a separate slip. During the live stream, I talked about a lot of this stuff. But from yesterday's live stream. And I'm glad that I took the total over due to the number more specifically to the number, that the total did cash. I took that on the live on the live stream yesterday, but I thought that the Hawks were going to score what was it, 114, 112, something like that. They finished with 106. So what can you do? Boston shut them down. And then DiVincenzo for threes. Decided to go back to him again. I went on bet on him twice for threes. He's 0-2 against, for me specifically, but any other time he's hitting like 3 or 4 more threes than normal. And yeah, he didn't come through. He finished with 2. But I had a specific parlay together. Royce O'Neal, which I could show you all on my Discord here. Royce O'Neal, I had him down. I had Duncan Robinson for 13 points and assists. This was a points and assists parlay. Royce O'Neal for 13 points and assists. Mitchell for 16 points and assists, and Sexton for points and assists. Royce hooked me by the 0.5. So that didn't cash. Which, funny enough, I also had a rebounds and assist slip with Gillespie, Fox, and Middleton. They handled business. Technically, they went above what they normally would get, so that was plus money that I missed out on. Really should have pushed Gillespie up 1, but all 3 of them up 1 more. Maybe I'll consider doing that more, but I parlayed all of my points and assists and rebound assists together, and once again, O'Neal let me down. So if he had gotten the 13, at least 1 more rebound or whatever, one more bucket, 1 more assist, whatever, he would have handled business for me. So what can you do? So there's that. And also had a late addition here. This is, let me show you. This was a late added slip. This one here, Sir Thompson, Royce O'Neal again, which he did come through for me on the points though. Mitchell and Sexton for 10 points each. Sir Thompson let me down. Finished with 7 in a blowout. Thought, even with the blow, you would think they would still at least gotten, the 10 points or more. This one, I had a $40 bonus bet. I put that money on that and would have won, I think like 240 something. Yeah. What can you do? So that's pretty much all the wins, all the losses, and we move on for today. But like I said, as of last night, the rebounds and assists and then the 3-pointers, this came through. So I will gladly take those wins. And we dive into today. One of my main picks for today is the first game. The Orlando Magic versus the Grizzlies. They were in Germany last game. I took the Magic to cover the -4.5, and they did in a nice, fashionable way in the second half. Basically, in the fourth quarter, they won the game, 118-111, and they got the win. My Grizzlies, we still suck, 17-23. So in Orlando, 23-18. The spread is now 3.5. I think it was 4.5 hours ago. Let me just double check here to make sure that I'm correct. So it opened up at -5.5 2 days ago. So I'm kind of upset that I may have possibly could have grabbed, possibly grabbed a +5.5 for my Grizzlies, but it did indeed change and shift to a 4.5 as of yesterday, but now it's 3.5 as of today. Okay, it switched back to 4.5 a little bit earlier, technically within the last 30-40 minutes. I'm upset I missed it. So, but it is what it is. I decided to go with my Grizzlies to cover the first half spread. This is what I decided to do. Currently, the books actually believe that my Grizzlies are going to cover the -1.5. I mean, the +3.5 for the -105. But I decided to go with my Grizzlies to cover the first half spread here. So here's why. Orlando they're 40%, 4-6 the last 10, while my Grizzlies are 7-3. Last 5, they're 1-4 to covering a -1.5 on my Grizzlies, which again, I'm taking them to cover the +1.5. They're 3-2 in the last 5. But more importantly, Ja's back. He's playing. He's on minutes restrictions. Let's not act like he's fully back. He's going to be in the game. But with Ja in the game, when he's in, this is what my Grizzlies do with Ja in the game. So this is what he does. In the last 10 games, we are 80% hit rate first half, 8-2. Last 5, 4-1. Currently 0-1 on the month, but technically in full spectrum perspective, we're 8-2 to covering with Ja on the court, whether at home, whether on the road. So the question becomes, on neutral ground, on neutral field, neutral court, can we cover this plus 1.5 today? I personally believe that we can. One of the main reasons why I say that is because let's remove this. Let's remove Ja. So we covered against Orlando on the 15th. We won 67-58. So here's one of the main reasons why I decided to go with it. So, and another reason why. So get rid of that. So on NBA.com, the first half, this is what we did. We shot 57%. 57% just in general, right? From the field. While Orlando shot 42%, just shy of 43%, 42.3 in the first half. But there was a definite drastic change again in the second half. That's why I'm saying, like, I feel like we'll still do sort of the same thing. Ja's back. I feel like even with the issues and problems that Ja has with, the current team that he's on, currently still believe that Ja's not going to be here before the trade deadline. We're pretty much going to look to trade him at some point, probably within the next 2 weeks, month, little whatever, you know what I mean? Because, February is not that far away. All-Star break, all of that, trade deadline, all of that's coming close, right? So in the second half, our field goal percentage dipped down mightily. We went from 57% to 33%, just shy of 34, 33.3. I see that number all the time, 333. And Orlando shot just a little bit better, just a smidge better, 44.2% in the first half. That's why I say I personally feel like it may be similar situation. It's still neutral field. They go from Germany to now London. Now the question becomes, what's going to happen in this game with Ja back? Are the teammates going to trust Ja to pass them the ball, to really play with him and Ja and I think it was Spencer or something like that had an argument before like a day before the Germany game. So there's that whole situation that got recorded and posted on social media. So again, Ja's on minutes restriction, but I just still personally believe, and we can even look at something else. There are other reasons why I believe that we will cover the first half. So this is, again, Moneyballer. You see this is a bunch of information in front of you, right? But here's one of the main reasons why I said I'm going to take my Grizzlies to cover. So right over here on the right of your screen, it says against the spread, ATS, first half, right? So Orlando are 19-20 to covering the first half. Us, Grizzlies, are not doing any better, 17-20-1. We're 4-6 here, specifically in the red. Orlando are 7-6 here. But because we're both coming off of a couple of days of rest, right? Roughly 3, roughly 2. Right here, it's not highlighted, but it says it right here. With rest, we're actually 4-2. My Grizzlies are 4-2 to covering the first half spread here, specifically. So, and technically, just in general, we're actually 4-2 to covering the actual full game spread. So, with rest. So while Orlando are an even 4-4, and 3-5 to covering the full game. So that's just something that I kind of fit. That's why I say I wish I would have gotten that plus 5.5. Then I would have probably just used it as a side spot. Now, when it's pertaining to the specific, say, over under, right? We're still down specifically. Now, I got to figure out what this means. AF means. Orlando first half are 8-5 on the positive side, but once again with rest, the under is still hitting specifically in the first half and the total. So me looking at this information, looking at this data in front of me, I did kind of consider, I think it was around here, maybe a little bit maybe it was a different game. It was probably a different game. Then again, it may have been a college basketball game, but somebody was a minus 114. I think it was a college basketball game because I have two main college basketball picks in for today. But the books currently believe that the over is going to hit 119. I think one of the main reasons why, because it did hit in their most recent game, right? But when you really look at the data, Orlando has been going under most of these last 10 games, and my Grizzlies are 50%, and even more so, last five we're 1-4 to going over, and same with Orlando. So it's like, what do you really do when it's pertaining to this? Again, per Moneyballer, they're saying that we both us and Orlando go under with 1 day of rest or whatever days of rest. So most of the time, so two games for both of us. I personally just kind of feel like this could be a spot where it could still hit the 119. Maybe we still score 60 plus points against Orlando, or a little bit under that, but still Orlando scores 50 plus points, but we still, like I said, still cover the plus 1.5. So do with what you will with the information that I brought up with you for this game. Still kind of feel like I want to take this plus 3.5. I don't know. Again, it's a positive for us on a day of rest. Who knows what's going to happen? But this is neutral ground, so we'll see. We balled out on neutral field in Germany. I still feel like we can do it. But again, with y'all on the court too, still feeling confident that we can cover the first half spread. Just the second half is what is going. Because the other reason why I say that is because Orlando, when it's pertaining to scoring specifically, what is it? There was something that I was looking at here. Was it efficiency, offensive rating? Could have sworn there was something that I seen for them. So paint attempts, they're getting 48% paint attempts, while ours are lower than theirs. And thought there was something else specifically. I think we are like us. We're not allowing that much mid-range attempts compared to Orlando. So it just depends on what I personally believe. It just depends on what's going to happen in this game, in this rematch here. So we'll see what happens. Personally, we'll just see. So that's that one. Next up is basically technically really the first game of the day. The first game is just super early in the day due to the time zone, but this is technically like the first game. It's Rockets. They're hosting the Pelicans. Pelicans suck, right? They keep getting sort of kind of blown out, right? But they're covering the 13.5. Look at Houston. They have not covered a 13.5, but one time in the last 10 games. Well, who was that against? That was against Brooklyn. That was at Brooklyn. 120-96. They've stopped only two teams from scoring 100 points, and that was Brooklyn and Phoenix. When it's pertaining to allowing a team to score or stopping a team from scoring 110, literally 110, they stopped 1, 2, 4 teams. Portland and who was it? Minnesota. One game on the road, one game at home. But they scored 102 against Portland. Portland shut them down. They won the game and covered. So, me personally, when I look at this data in front of me, look at the last 20 games. They've covered 25% to a minus 13.5. They're not covering this number, while Pelicans are covering 80% of the plus 13.5s. So I personally feel really good about taking the Pelicans to cover this plus 13. Houston specifically, when it's pertaining to just without looking at anything else, just looking at the data on Outlier here, when you look at the information in front of you, just in the last 10 games alone, look at what they've allowed teams to do versus what they've done, because they really haven't. They've scored above 115 3 times. Now you can say, okay, they scored 110 here, 110 here, 2, 3, 4 times that they've scored 110 points or more. but they've allowed 6 teams to score 110 points or more against them. Again, they haven't blown out but one team. It's just that the Pelicans specifically, when it's pertaining to them, they've allowed 3 teams to blow them out. 3 of those games were on the road. So technically on the road in the last 10 games, 1, 2-0, 3-0, but 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. So they're even 3-3. Now the more recent, in the back half of these last 5, or the front end of these last 10, they've covered 3 straight games. They haven't been getting blown out, right? They've either lost by 10 points, excuse me, or lost by less than 10 points, right? They even blew out Washington on the 9th on the road, but that's Washington. So Houston's defense has not been doing great, but again, at the same time, Pelicans haven't either. The total for the game is 230 and a half. Personally, kind of believe this is kind of low for a Pelicans defense, right? But I think that the reason why they're doing that is because Houston has been playing a bit better, I guess a bit better defense-wise, not allowing so many teams to score, say, 120 points. It looks like none of the teams have scored 120. Chicago and Indiana hit 119, so nobody's hit 120 against them. So their defense is coming into play a little bit, stopping, but they're still allowing teams to score to 110. So me looking at the data just on Outlier alone in general, I personally say take the Pelicans to still cover the plus 13.5. Pelicans probably will still lose the game, but you don't know what kind of Pelicans team you're going to get. Pretty much they got all their starters in tonight, right? Eason's Q-tagged. He's questionable. Alvarado's still out. Herbert is out. Murray's probably not going to be back until next year. And then, of course, Fred VanVleet is pretty much out for the season. So they're waiting to see if Eason's going to get in to this game. If he is in, maybe that plays a factor. Maybe. But personally, looking at this, kind of feel like the total could possibly still go over. And the Pelicans will still cover the plus 13.5. But you just have to hope for the best. Let's look at the data here per this game when it's pertaining to the Pelicans Rockets. ATS wise, this is what it is. This is Moneyballer. The Rockets are 19-20 to covering the spread. The Pelicans are 21-22 and 1 to covering the spread. The Rockets at home, though, in the last 16 games are 7-9, while the Pelicans are 8-11 on the road to covering. As road dogs, they're 17-22. The Rockets as home favorites, they're 7-8, so just below 500. But when it's pertaining to the over, the Pelicans are 24-20, hitting at a 55% hit rate. But on the road, they're 9-10. But as underdogs, specifically, they're 23-17, but they're even 9-9 as underdogs. The Rockets, when it's pertaining to them over under, 7-9 in the last 16, even 18-18 as favorites, 7-8 as home favorites. So the question becomes, when it's pertaining to covering the specific spread, the specific 13.5, you see also too that both teams are in the red. The only thing that is green here is right here at the bottom. We're in 14 games, specifically there's 6 games on the road where the Pelicans have covered at a 4-2 record, hitting at a 67% hit rate. So again, me personally looking at the data, I just kind of feel like the Pelicans can cover here, specifically just being honest. They did cover on the 18th of December, where the Pelicans they beat them 138-128. So possible revenge spot for the Rockets, but personally they scored, it was 236.5, so they scored 261 in that game. When we look at the data as far as like, because again the total is 230.5, because I did this yesterday during the stream where I talked about the Celtics and the Hawks, where the specific number was, and because the number was 229, anytime it was at 229, the score went over the total, and it did yesterday's game. So when we look at the specific total here, let's break it down and look at under the 230. When it's under 230 and a half, it went under one time, two times, three times. So that's three times already. 3-1 to the under, because this one was 228. Excuse me, 229. It went 232. 218. It went over 246. Again, this is between the Rockets and the Pelicans. So that's 3-2. 221, 3-3, even 231. Now it went back under 206. This was last year. It was a 230, but excuse me, I apologize. 227 and a half. So 3-4, and then again 3-5 to the over if you decided to go with the excuse me, three. It was an even 3-3, right? But let's look at the spot now, because Houston is at home. Just in general at home. 0-1 to the under, 0-2 to the under, 0-3 to the excuse me, over. I apologize. Over to the over. Again at home. 1-3, 2-3. So 5 of the last home games specifically for the Rockets against the Pelicans at home, specifically in the spot, a 2-3 record. Do with that information what you will. But I still kind of feel like the total can still hit the over because of the Pelicans defense. They give up so many points. If you want to take the Rockets on their team total points, let's see where it's at. Currently it's 123. They've gone under pretty much 8 straight games. Again, they're giving them 123. They gave Indiana 127 against the Pelicans on the 16th. They scored. They gave them 123, same number, and the Pelicans scored 127. I kind of can see Houston scoring above the around 120-ish. Maybe they score 125. Maybe they score 130. But they've been going down. It's just their offense more recently just has not been on point, even at home in these last 10 games. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4-1 out of 5 home games, they have not scored not even 115 points. They scored 110 4 times in these last 10 games, and more specifically at home, 2 games, 110 points or higher. While the Pelicans specifically, when it's pertaining to the 123, where they allowed the team to score 123 points. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the last 10. Everybody else, under. Pelicans on the road, if you decided to take the Rockets to score 123 points, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. So it's a positive. 6 games on the road, 4 of those teams scored 123 points. It's up to you if you want to decide to take this. I'm considering it, but the main one that I'm really looking at is the Pelicans to cover the plus 3.5. I took the Pelicans to cover a plus 7.5 per the data. They are hitting at a 70% hit rate, 7-3. Houston, 8-2. 8 straight games where they didn't cover. It was the bottom end. One of those games was the beginning of the month against the Brooklyn Nets. So they're 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4 in the last 5 home games to covering. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. I was reading that wrong. So 0-1. So 1-1. 1-2, 1-3, 1-4. So in the last 4 home games, they have not covered the most. While the Pelicans 1-0 on the road, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2 to covering the plus 7.5. So I took this as a straight bet, and that's pretty much the spot. If you're considering taking, maybe let's look at Kevin Durant. So there we go. Kevin Durant. Let's look at him. What did they got him? They got him getting 25 points. They believe he's going to get it. Minus 105. He's averaging 29 on the last 10 games, 28 the last 5. Head-to-head, he averages 26. He's 1-0 against them on the season. He scored 32. That was on the 18th of December. You may, again, on the season, he's averaging 26. So it's just a couple points above the number that you want. Let's look at him at home. 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1 to getting the 26, just in general, the 25, excuse me. Personally, sure. Let's look at the Pelicans, what they're doing, though. This is what they're doing against the bigs. Siakam went off to get 27 on the 16th, where they, lost to the Pacers there. Everybody else, 2, 4, 6, 7. So they're actually technically 1-7 to allowing a team to score 25 points against them. But per the position, they allow 20. So what do you really decide to do with this pick? Do you still consider taking Kevin Durant for the 25 because he's been handling business at home? He has the 32 points against them on the road, right? Or do you go with the actual data that says in the midst of what the Pelicans are doing on defense, they're actually shutting bigs down? Siakam was a starter. He got the 27. Clowney is a starter, but he doesn't really score that many points, right? Aaron Gordon was, I want to say he was coming off the bench this game. He still hit 16, so he was just, 9 points off. Bonchero's a starter. They shut him down to 23 on the 11th. Giyu, he's a starter, but he doesn't really score that much. So out of all the starters that you see here, literally only one got it. One came close, and the other one, who, again, was coming off the bench at the time, I think he's finally getting back in the rotation of starting now, Aaron Gordon, he finished with 16. What do you really decide to do? Maybe consider taking Kevin Durant first half points or something, maybe. Assist-wise, they're giving him 5. He had 2 games where he got 6 or more. So no passing. What about his rebounds? What about his threes? What are they giving him for his threes? 3 plus money. So the lower will be 2. Last 5, he's averaging 3. Anytime he got it, it was 4 or more. He is in the last 5, 1-2. Last 10 at home, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4 to getting 3 at home. So maybe you don't take him for 3 threes tonight. But he did get the 4 on the 18th. That's the only thing. He's averaging on the season 2. So his 3-pointers are down. So you don't want to maybe not consider that. Rebounds looks a little bit better. And funny enough, they're giving him 5. So what would it be for 6 plus 120? So we drop him up to, if we ladder him up to 6, still looking a little bit decent. Even 5-5. Let's see, last 10, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. So 4-1 to getting the 6 at home. Head to head, he had 7 against them on the 18th. Per the position, again, it's 6. So Siakam got it, Clowney got it, Gordon got it, Bonchero got it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the last 2, 4, 6. So 5 of the last 7 got it. So 5 and 2. Maybe take his rebounds. I might take I might take this 6 rebounds tonight. I just might. Looks really, really good, actually. Just being honest, he's averaging 7 in the last 5, 3 and 2. Again, he had 7 here. I might take these 6 rebounds on a straight bet. Just being honest, because he actually might. Let's look at his rebound chances. 11. That's great. Last 10. 10. Okay. At home, specifically. 9, 11, 13. 11 and 7. Sengun's been back too. That's the other thing we gotta consider. Sengun has been in. So with Sengun in, this is what he's doing though. It's a little bit down though. He still had 4 games where he got 6 or more. 6 of those games he at least had 7 of those games he at least had 5 or more. So there's still potential for him to get it at home. Again, this is with Sengun on the court. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. So 2-1 in 3 games with Sengun on the court. He got 7 and then 10. So this one was against OKC. This one was against Chicago. So there's a potential here. So I personally I would take him for this plus money. I think I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to say screw it. I'm keep talking about it. I'm gonna take this 6.6 rebounds. The score app. I'm gonna do this right now, live. And like I said, I'm gonna post this on the Discord. Probably show y'all me doing it too, so that way y'all can see it. Cause I just really do kind of feel like he can get, cause he's done it in 3 games more recently, more so in the month, right? So in the month he's 2 and 3 to getting 6. But in the month he's 2-0, 2-1, excuse me, to getting 6. He was 2 off here against Minnesota on the 16th, which was 2 days ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and take KD for 6 rebounds at plus value here, +1. Maybe it's still plus 120. Let's find out. NBA KD, where you at, dude? Where's this? Pelicans, Pels, Rockets. Pels, Rockets. KD's sitting at plus 120. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it right now. Let's see if we can get a winner here, right? Obviously, you want most of your picks to cash. I won on a few picks last night, plus a couple of parlays that I hit on, so I'll take it. Let's see here. I'm gonna post this right now on my Discord, so y'all will see it. Again, go find me. Bet at your own risk. Go find me. Join the Cord. Go find me with my crew. Top Sports Debate. This is where I do my live streams almost every single day for the NBA. Community parlays every day when I do stream. Go find us. Join us. And welcome to the Thunderdome. So let's do this right now, live here on the channel here. Kevin Durant, 6 rebounds tonight. Bang. There you go. Did it live on stream. Did it live on stream. Here it is. This is the slip. Let's get it. Let's move on. So obviously off top, since we're talking about it, since I'm here, let's just do it because I truly, honestly, just me opinion, I do not trust Houston to cover this plus 13.5. If you want extra data here, we could do this real quick. Let me go to StatMuse here. Let's do this. Pelicans record 2A plus 13.5 spread on the season. They are 0-3, right? So there's a bit of a positive to the I forgot that I looked this up too. I forgot that I looked this up last night. So they're 0-3, right? But let's look at Rockets record. To a minus 13.5. So they are 20-14. Fascinating, right? But again, on the season, currently in the last 10 games, they have not covered. Look at this. The minus 13.5, they have not covered. But let's really look at this. So let's see here. It says that they covered. This is wrong, right? This is what StatMuse gives you. Sometimes they give you just wrong data. So they did not cover against Minnesota. They beat Minnesota 110-105. So they didn't cover this 13. So that's 0-1. They didn't cover. They covered here against my Thunder. No, excuse me. My Thunder beat them. So they didn't cover here. That's 0-2. They didn't cover against Chicago. 0-3. 0-4. So you see, they're not covering a plus 13.5. So StatMuse has it wrong. Whatever this is, they have it wrong, right? So personally, I just personally feel more comfortable with taking the Pelicans to cover, and I'm going to do this right now. Let's see. Which sports book do I? I'll stay right here. We'll do it here. Same spot. Pels. Let's get it. So currently I have Pelicans to cover the first half spread plus 7.5, and I have Kevin Durant getting 6 rebounds tonight, and now officially I have the Pelicans to cover the plus 13.5. So I'm gonna just plop it right here. There we go. It's in. It is locked in. We got it in. So there's that. Again, there's only 6 games. Still want to kind of bet light. But we'll see. Next up, Nets, Bulls, Brooklyn. They've still been like a positive for me as far as the squad goes. Chicago, depends on what they were doing. Like I sometimes would catch them on a good night. They would do something covering a spread, first half spread or something. But outside of that, I was doing a couple of player props for them, so it was just like going whichever way. But the Nets specifically were handling the business for me. Michael Porter Jr. was covering for me. Denman came through for me, their point guard. But the thing is that Porter is officially out. He's out for rest tonight. So they're automatically, I guess they're pushing for the Bulls to win tonight. The spread is 6.5. The over under total is 222.5. This one hasn't moved anywhere. The Nets have been covering, even just in general, the plus 6.5, 50% of the last 10 games. They are 60%, 3-2 in the last 10. But ATS wise, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Chicago, same thing, 4 and 6 the last 10 ATS. But there's 3 and 7 to covering the minus 6.5. Me, I said, you know what? Let me see, because again, Michael Porter Jr. is out, right? So because he's out, I decided to go on ahead and see if the Bulls can cover a minus 4.5 spread tonight, first half. One of the main reasons why, of course, the Nets just came off of these 2 games. The Bulls coming off of 2 games in the last 5. But without Porter Jr. in, this is what the Nets do, specifically without him in the last 10 games, again, without him in the game. And this is just in general in the last, between this year and last year, they are only 3 and 7 to covering a plus 4.5 without Michael Porter Jr. in the game. And if you want to consider just on the season, just currently they're 1 and 4 without Michael Porter Jr. in. And in the month of January, they're 0 and 3. Chicago, again, specifically, they are 2 and 3 in the last 5. So head to head, Chicago's 1 and 2 against them, but this was last year, right? Totally different. So do with that information what you will. But I just personally kind of feel like with Porter Jr. out, they got Terrence Mann starting, Martin, plus Clowney and Claxton. I have Bazula in a spot. I'm relying on him tonight. I have him getting 18 rebounds and assists tonight per the, points and assists. So this is what I got for him. So now I bumped up. So I feel a little bit better. It bumped up 1. No longer 18. It's 19. So Bazula, last 10. He's averaging 20 points plus assists in the last 10 games. Last 5, he's 2 and 3, averaging 17, just shy of the 18, 17.2. The Bulls allowed to the position, plenty of breathing room, 26 to the position, right? But then down here in the last 10, per the 18, Bazula got it in the recent matchup against them on the 16th at Brooklyn. That's one of the positive confidence for me. But then they allowed Trey Murphy to get it. Sadiq Bey was a starter in that same game. He finished with 13. So Murphy got it. Klay Thompson had a big game last night with those 6 threes in the beginning, which again, like I stated at the beginning of the stream, he covered for me with the 4 threes that I needed from him when he finished with 6.5 and just 6 on the game. But he had 19 here. Cooper Flagg had 32. Najee Marshall, 31. Same game. Kawhi Leonard, 31. De Silva usually comes off the bench. He probably did that game, but he still got 16. And then Peyton Watson is a starter with 25. So pretty much all these starters, mostly all these starters, got 18 or higher. So I feel kind of confident that he could possibly even, because again, when you really look at this information, he's getting 20, 21, higher than that. Maybe you bump him up to not 20. I'm mad that I didn't bump him up to this 19 hours ago when I put this in, but I might just bump them up to at least 20. It's a plus 105. Let me see if they have any other book. They don't. I may still put this on Fliff anyway because I do have a Fliff account. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Let's do this Fliff one. I'm gonna just take this now. Like I said, I'm kind of upset that I didn't grab this when it was still 17 and a half, but that's okay. Because this causes me to use Fliff. Let's see. Player prop, combo, points and assists. I'll just bump him up to the 20 at a minus 105. I mean, excuse me, plus 105. There we go. And I'll probably just bump them up again on another sports book. Probably on Fanatics or something like that. Again, just to show you. Plus assist up. The line movement. Due to the line movement, there it goes. There we are. It's in. Ladder them up. Let me fix that. But I laddered him up. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. But that's pretty much what I got from the game. Per Moneyballer, both are still down, covering the spread, covering an over under. The total is 222 and a half. When you look here, they've gone under 1, 2, 3 against each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these last 2, 4, 6, not 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games. 4 of the games they went under. The spot, while the other 6 they went over. But again, without, because I was kind of wondering if I wanted to do a sorry, one moment. Because I was thinking about maybe fading the Nets team total points under 55 and a half for them to go under 56. They're averaging 51 in the last 10, basically 51 in the last 5, 4-1 to the under. They did hit 57 against Chicago though. Chicago's allowing 60 to the first half just in general. Head to head, they're every other game to getting or not getting the 56 against them. So they stopped them here on the 3rd of December, but then they got it, basically a little over a month later, almost basically a month and a half later. So the question becomes, now that they're back in Chicago, will they get it again, right? But this is what Chicago's doing in the last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, so 50%, 5 and 5 have gotten the actual 56, right? But Chicago at home in these last 10. If you decided to fade the Pelicans from getting the 56. 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3. So even 3-3 in the last 6 home games that Chicago has stopped the team from scoring 56 points. So what do you really decide to do per the spot? We can even dive into them with them not having your boy here. Let's see. Let's take Porter Jr. out. This is what they do. Averaging 52 in the last 10 games without Michael Porter Jr. on the court. And in the month, even the year, they're 4-1, and on the month they are 0-3 to getting 3-0. Apologies, 3-0 to getting to going under the 56. So that's a positive spot. Maybe you take this. I might take this. I just might, just to see if Chicago can stop them. Again, you don't know. We don't really know what's really going to happen. Maybe, but that's pretty much that game there. Pretty much outside of that, that's pretty much everything that I looked at as far as the games here are concerned. I could maybe look at one more game. The question becomes for the Blazers Sacramento game, do you say take Sacramento to cover because they've covered 4 straight games, all against pretty much really, really great teams, right? Three of the 4, Houston, Lakers, and Knicks, they were able to beat them at home. They're back at home for a 5th game. Is this their 5th? Is this? Let me see. Let me look at this real quick. Sacramento. So they are on a huge stretch at home. They won't be back on the road until the 23rd of this month, which is next Friday. They're at home tonight against the Trailblazers. They're at home on Monday against the Heat at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the very next day, that Tuesday, they are at home against. Wait, what did I read wrong? Must have read something wrong. But they're at home against the Raptors on Wednesday. On Wednesday. I apologize. Tuesday, the 20th. That's a Tuesday. So Tuesday they're at home against the Heat. Wednesday they're at home against the Raptors. Friday they play the Cavs on Friday, January 23rd. They're at Cleveland next Friday. So they still have a comfortable spot. Can they could they beat? Can they cover against the Heat? Can they beat and cover against the Raptors? That's the next question for the next 2 home games. But again, 4-1 to covering. The Blazers are 3-2. They had back-to-back games where they did cover, right? And the +2.5. Both of those games were at home. The one game in these last 5, they were on the road. They couldn't cover against Golden State. Golden State blew them out, basically. Let's see the last 10 for them. But they are 2-2 on the road in the last 10 games, while Sacramento at home 4-1, 4-0, 4-2, 4-3 though. So on the front end of these last 10, they've been covered. Technically in the month of January, just in the month of January, they're 4-3. So still above 500 head to head. On the season though, they're 0-2. Portland beat them twice, but one at home, one on the road. So possible revenge spot for Sacramento tonight, maybe, because they played them at Sacramento on the December 20th of last year. The books currently believe that Portland is going to cover. Is Denny in? He's Q tagged. He might be on minutes restriction though. See, Murray's still out. Let's see. Let's say Denny does not play. Let's see what happens with Denny not in. What if Denny's not in? With Denny not in, still 50%. Again, they covered against Atlanta and the Lakers. Technically, Atlanta's trying to find their new groove without Trae Young there anymore. And the Lakers suck, right? Who knows? We'll see. Everything else is from last year, so we'll see. We shall see. Maybe. What about the total? 228.5. There's EV on the over. Last 5 though. Portland's 2-3. Sacramento's 3-2. It's 229. So when it's under 230, it's actually gone under in the last 5. For Portland, under 230, it's gone under. But when it's no, hold on. So they're 3-1 when the actual line is under 230. Technically under 220. Well, yeah, under 230. In the last 5 games. One of those games is on the road. So for them, 2 at home specifically. They're 2-0 to under 230 at home specifically. What can you do? What would I do? Is the question. What would I take from this spot? Again, positive for the Kings. Like I said, 3-1. 3-1 is favorites. 8-2 in the last 14 home games. Over last 10 games, they're 8-2 to covering at home. Blazers, when it's pertaining to the spread, 24-18, even 10-10 on the road, but they're 18-10 as dogs, 64% hit rate, but just above 500, 7-6 as away dogs. While the Kings, they're even 2-2 at home as favorites, 2-2 just in general as favorites, 10-12 at home to covering, 17-25 just in general. You see over under in the last 4 games as favorites, 3-1 at home, 3-1. So matchup wise, let's look at the Kings and the Blazers at home. When it's under 230, it's gone over. This one was low, 222. This one went under, over. So I guess 2-2 to a under 230. It's a 229 in total. All games on average, roughly 229, and it's gone under the 227 in total on average. But again, per the data, but let's see, Trailblazers in 28 games, 10-8 as dogs on the road, or 10-8 just in general as dogs. 10 of those games went under. 18 of those games went under. 4-9 as away dogs, but they're that's the spread. So do with this information what you will. Me, when I look at this, I'm like, maybe I still take the Sacramento because they literally are handling business right. To the spread, 4 straight. If Denny is in, is he on minutes restriction? That's the question. So I would have to wait until I guess like 6 or 7 o'clock tonight to see if I decide to take this spread for whichever. Let me look at first halves real quick. See, same thing. Books believe that Sacramento is going to cover the 5.5. So let's look at the last 5. The 4-1, 2-3 for the Blazers. Let's look at the Blazers. They score 41 here on the road, 55, 63. So one game they hit 63 on the road. Again, this is in the month. 55 2 times, well, technically 3 times, and then 41 against Golden State. Sacramento at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games they hit 55 or higher. Well, 4 games. No, 5. 5 5 games they hit 55 or higher at home. Just in general, in the last 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games they hit 55 or higher. Because when I look at that, I'm like, all right, they scored 55. What did they allow when they were, just in general? Boston scored 62. Milwaukee scored 62. Golden State scored 62. Lakers scored 54. New York scored 42, and then Washington scored 61. So it looks like their defense is still allowing specific amount of points in the first half. But same thing can be said about the Blazers. 61, 56, 67, 65, 56, 57, 55, and 73. So around the same, well, I would say still a positive look for the Kings to possibly still score 55 points or higher. Again, the question becomes, can they, on defense, stop Portland from scoring 55 or higher tonight? That's the question, because they're showing consistency on getting the 55. Now on the road, again, 3 of those games they got 55 or higher. 1 of the games they didn't. Sacramento at home. Was it 6 of those games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 got 55 or higher. Maybe I still take Sacramento to cover the -1.5 tonight. Maybe. We'll see. Consider, but I gotta see. I really have to see if Denny's going to play. If he's in, then I probably might take Portland. Here's another factor you can tie into. Look at what they're doing here. See, Portland's doing a little bit better in the first half. 5 extra wins, 3 extra losses, no ties or anything. And they're doing better in the second half compared to Sacramento. So that's why I'm like, maybe take, again, if Denny's in, then I would probably take Portland to cover the +1.5. If he's out, then I would take Sacramento to cover the -1.5. That's what I'm thinking for that game. Charlotte and Denver. Charlotte let me down first half last night. Thought they can cover the +7.5 last night. They're still, per the data, they're still doing good enough job, right? But the Nuggets are actually doing a job when it's pertaining to the over-under total. So maybe you take the over. It's 228. Let's see. Hornets are 23, 21, and 13 and 1 as underdogs, just in general. 24 and 17 and 1 just in general to cover. 13 and 10 on the road. In the last several games, 12 and 8 as away dogs to covering, right? The Nuggets, 25 and 17 against the spread, 10 and 8 at home, 16 and 14 as favorites, but 7 and 6 at home to covering as favorites, right? So let's look at the over/under for both sides. There's positives. Look at this: Nuggets 9 and 5 in the last 14 games to the over/under, but even spot at home. But 6 and 0 to the over/under as favorites, 1 and 0 to the over/under as home favorites. Charlotte, 8 and 6 to the over in the last 14, 6 and 3 to the over, 7 and 4. On the road, 7 and 4 as underdogs, and then 5 and 3 on the road as underdogs. So I'm feeling like the total over can hit. The books currently believe that it's going to hit at a -105 on the Score app. So I'm going to take this, but I'm going to put this over on BetMGM. So let's do it. I feel confident about this 229 because Charlotte has been balling out. Whether on the road, whether at home, they've been balling out, son. And I think this will be the last pick for the stream. because I'm going to go eat lunch. And I'm going to eat some chocolate because I love chocolate. And I'm just going to enjoy my afternoon because the first game is already up. I don't want to watch that, or it should be getting ready to start if it hasn't already. I'm going to watch that game. Let's see. Yeah, it's showing that it's supposed to start in like 3 minutes. So let's take, so this is a minus 102. I'll get a better line too. It's a minus 102 on BetMGM. So let me get that. Let me just put I get, and again, we are posting this here. Whoops. Over. Bang. There we go. It's in. So I feel like we did good. I'm gonna probably look at the other game or something like that. I don't know if I want to take, because Charlotte's just coming off of that. What you call it here? Let me see something. Let me see real quick if they have any info on this. They were off. Charlotte, first half, they're doing great. First half to covering the spread, but they're 4. No, that's back to back. With the rest, they're 6 and 4 because they didn't. No. Excuse me, it's back to back. They're 4 and 5. I apologize. 4 and 5. The Nuggets are even 5 and 5. 10 and 9, 12 and 8. Right. So, do with that what you will. Oh, but the back to back to the over under though, 2 6 and 1 on the back to back. Jack. But Nuggets with rest are 7 and 3 to the over under. So we'll see. We shall see. But I still feel confident about the total going over. I really, really do feel like it can hit. There's EV here. On the road, they are in the last 5 just a general 3 and 1. Denver 1 and 0 at home, 1 and 1, 1 and 2. Look at the last 10. Denver, so 1 and 2 in the last 3 home games. Charlotte on the road 3 and 1. Excuse me, 2 and 1. 2 and 2, 2 and 3 though. 3 and 3, even 3 and 3 to the over under. But most of those were above the 228, 229. So we will see what happens. We'll see. But we'll see. Maybe you still, against the spread, maybe you still take Charlotte on the plus 1.5. Because they're 8 and 1 on the back-to-back compared to the first half. Because again, first half they're 4 and 5. Maybe you still take the Hornets to cover the plus 1.5 tonight. Because again, they're only 8 and 1. Denver is 5 and 3, but they're actually even 5 and 5 because they did not play last night. So it's up to you if you want to take the Hornets. I might, because again, they let me down on the first half spread last night. Maybe they handle business tonight. Maybe they get the job done tonight. We'll see. I just might take that as a straight bet. It's, what is it? Let's see. Because like I said, I feel confident about the books feel confident about them covering the what you call this? A minus 114. Again, last 5. Let's see. All these are on the road. Now, possible trend. Again, I don't really believe in trends. They're 7 and 2 in the last 9 road games, right? But every other game in the last 4 road games they've covered. So they covered against Utah, didn't cover against the Clippers, covered against the Lakers, didn't cover against Golden State, but they cover. They possibly in a spot where they may cover to tonight. So if they're 8-1, if per the data, if it's they're 8-1 positive look, I say take the Hornets to cover the +1.5. I think I'll just run it back. I'm gonna just run it back because they've been, like I said, they've been cashing for me. Knupple's been cashing for me. Bridges cashed for me a couple of times. The Hornets just been another, just like the Brooklyn Nets. Like I said, Hornets been a covering machine for me, per spreads, per whatever. Okay, cool. The game's up. Grizzlies Magic or my Grizzlies are up. My Grizzlies are up 10-4. Let's go. I need them to cover the first half spread. That's all I want right now. Let's start to get the day off right. Let me go on ahead and take this. I'm just going to put this in right now. Just say screw it. It's either it's going to cash or it won't. It's either going to cover or it won't. I'm going to take the gamble. The book on FanDuel believes that they're not going to cover at a minus. They had Denver covering at a -106. It's okay. I'm going to take the chance. Go on ahead and take the chance. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's go. Oops. Let's go. Screw it. It's in. I did it. Let's hope for the best tonight, and whatever else I place tonight. The only other thing that I have, technically, this is like my only parlay that I have currently. Trey Jones, Shepard, Sexton, and Holiday. All of them just need them to get 10 points. Let's hope for the best for this one, because like I said, I missed it last night with a sure missing by 7 points. Let's hope for the best for that. But with that, I am out. You all stay safe, stay humble. Let's hope for the best for tonight without us trying to stress. Like I said, come join us over on thewop.com at Top Sports Debate. I'll be on here probably within the next couple of hours or something to do a live stream to go over community parlay. We went 1-2 last night. What can you do? It is what it is. It happens. So, but this is where I'll be in probably about 2 hours from now. Gonna watch this London game for a little bit and see what happens. But y'all stay safe, stay humble. I'll holler at y'all later, guys. Peace.